It's time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. Back-to-back powerful Pacific storm systems are going to impact the West Coast through the end of the week with heavy rain, life-threatening floods, strong winds, and higher elevation mountain snow. Heavy snow is likely throughout parts of the central Appalachians starting today, with a separate burst of snowfall possible across the northeastern parts of Pennsylvania and neighboring regions of the Northeast tonight into tomorrow. Closer to home, dry and mild weather through the weekend. Temperatures are expected to remain warm to well above normal by the weekend. Light winds are expected through the weekend, then low-end breezy conditions expected in the lowlands and breezy conditions in the mountain areas towards the middle of the week. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. At last night's Village of Tularosa meeting, Mayor Debbie Cooksey gave residents an update on the water situation regarding the project done by the Tularosa Community Ditch Corporation. We caught up with her after the meeting.
We talked about the water. I got a letter today, and the Ditch Corporation their lawyers came back and said they own everything. Tularosa doesn't have any water rights. We have no land rights. We have nothing, which is not true.
The Ditch Corporation is having a meeting in a few weeks, and the mayor encourages all villagers to attend.
They want to charge the village for water. That's unacceptable. That water is federal water coming off the reservation. That water belongs to all citizens of the United States.
You can see the meeting in full on the Village of Tularosa Facebook page. On the Crazy Radio YouTube channel, you can find both the mayor's discussion from the meeting as well as our conversation following. The city of Alamogordo has some big events coming up. We heard from Mayor Susan Payne.
Saturday, November 30th, it's Small Business Saturday. Shop small, shop local, as we always say. We want to remind everybody that Alamogordo Main Street has got some great things going on down there, and our downtown is still open. So please go out and support those businesses. I know downtown is under construction. It's a little bit harder to get to, but there are places to park, and I know those business owners would really appreciate that business. And look out for our Facebook page, because we do have information about parking and other things. And then, starting our Christmas season on December 6th, we are going to have our Christmas tree lighting. This is always a fun time. It's the Fiesta of Lights Christmas at Washington Park. They're going to have a snow slide, a skating rink, cookies and s'mores and food trucks, and that's from 5 to 9, and then at 6:30 that night, of course, is our annual Christmas tree lighting. Always a fun time, and always exciting to see everybody come out and kick off the Christmas season with us. And then finally, on December 14th, we want to give a huge shout-out to the Air Force Sergeants Association for hosting our annual Christmas parade. We could not do this without them. As you know, we had a little bit of an issue a few years ago, and because of that, the Chamber of Commerce nor the City of Alamogordo are able to host that parade. And so the Air Force Sergeants Association has come in and covered the insurance on that and is hosting that parade. That starts at 6 o'clock on December 14th, and we are really looking forward to that. And again, we want to thank them for supporting us.
Well, today is Thursday. That means we get a Thursday thought from our good friend, Pastor Lauren Noble.
Good morning, 95.1 listeners. This is Pastor Lauren with our Thursday thought. You know, recently I've been in the position that probably a number of people out there listening are, and that's dealing with medical issues. And several years ago, I started having breathing problems, and that has progressed to the point that I've had to seriously look into it now and hope, instead of hoping that it will just go away. But you know, I'm not very good with patients, because about a month ago I had a CT scan and a chest x-ray, and of course when it comes to medical things, I'm like anybody else. I'm like, well, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I need a diagnosis, and life doesn't work that way necessarily, but so I guess I'm learning patience as a lesson during all of this, and I'm pretty confident there's nothing really to worry about, that, you know, that maybe we can fix it with an inhaler or something like that. But I'm just at a point that I want answers, because medically anything is difficult to wait on because of that. It's dealing with health. Let me say a prayer for those of us out there that are still struggling with the same things. Lord, I do pray for those that are, well, waiting on answers for health concerns, or not knowing what is next, or just wanting a diagnosis. And Father, I know that there's a number of people praying for me, and I hope that there's a number of people praying for those out there that are waiting a diagnosis or just perhaps got one that they really did not want to receive. And Father, I just pray that you will draw close to us that are struggling right now with medical issues and give us some peace and assurance. Amen. Until we meet up again on the airwaves, blessings to you.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Local sports, local events, and local happenings and more. Nonprofit owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.org. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
A suspected sex offender from Colorado is in jail in New Mexico after U.S. Marshals caught him last week. Zachary Baca was facing charges of child sexual assault, child prostitution, and indecent exposure. Law enforcement learned that Baca was traveling through New Mexico on I-40 in a vehicle associated with him. U.S. Marshals deployed personnel and found Baca driving the vehicle around 3 p.m. The team approached Baca when he stopped for fuel in Bernalillo. That's when he was arrested without incident. Baca is at the Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center on what is described as an out-of-state fugitive complaint. New Mexico State Police arrested 44-year-old Jimmy Yazzie on his fifth DWI charge following a pursuit on I-40. Officers conducted a welfare check on his car when an officer noticed him urinating on the side of the road. Yazzie then sped off when officers tried to approach. At that point, he was on parole for 4 DWI convictions. When officers later found Yazzie at a gas station, officials say he refused to comply with commands. He tried to speed off and even pinned an officer between his car and a gas pump. Yazzie then sped off on the highway again. Officers executed stop maneuvers. Yazzie got out and ran away, but officers found him a short time later and he was arrested. Officials say he admitted to drinking alcohol before driving. Officers booked him into jail on multiple charges, including his 5th DWI. On top of that, aggravated assault on a peace officer, aggravated fleeing, resisting or evading, and multiple traffic infractions. His 5th DWI. My understanding is his next one, he gets a free set of steak knives. An inmate was returned to custody by police after escaping a jail. A Gallup police officer saw a man in an orange jumpsuit leaving the McKinley County Adult Detention Center, where inmate Jonathan Nataba was rearrested. He was then taken into custody. He will now face an escape from jail charge. A lawsuit's been filed against the troubled water utility that services Santa Teresa and Sunland Park over arsenic contamination. The legal action, initiated by several residents, aims to hold the Camino Real Regional Utility Authority accountable for the water crisis due to the residents who have suffered and continue to face the consequences of exposure to arsenic in their water. A town hall meeting is scheduled for today where attorneys will discuss the lawsuit with area residents and answer questions. The meeting is going to take place from noon until 7 at the Donna Anna Community College Sunland Park Center. Nick Seibel, the editor and publisher of the Silver City Daily Press, appeared on KRWG to talk about a Cliff School tradition.
So the Cliff School is a rural school that is about 20 miles to the west of Silver City, but it's part of the Silver Consolidated School District, and it's sort of this annual tradition that the Silver School Board goes out to Cliff and meets every year. And it just so happened that the meeting held this week on Monday was the annual meeting out at Cliff, which was a great opportunity for the district because, as folks who listened to last week's report probably heard, the district is in the middle of their plans to basically entirely replace the Cliff Schools campus.
He went on to talk about the upgrades that are going to be done to the schools, including a new roof on the Schmidt School. Claire Trevino, the former president of the Zia Middle School Parent-Faculty Organization, has been charged with embezzlement and tampering with evidence. New Mexico State Police investigated Trevino for the alleged embezzlement of just under $7,000, which occurred from May of 2022 until September of 2023. The PFO oversees fundraising events to support school projects, meaning she stole from children. In September 2023, the PFO's treasurer raised concerns about possible discrepancies in the organization's funds. Trevino explained to the PFO members that a bank error had caused her personal account to become linked to the PFO's account, and she then paid back $3,500. A PFO member was able to later gain access to the organization's bank account and discovered, surprise, surprise, there was never a bank error. The PFO account was never linked to anyone's separate personal account. Trevino used the debit card, the checks, and cash withdrawals to make personal Amazon, grocery, and restaurant purchases during school breaks when the PFO was not actively engaged in planning a school event. When investigators confronted Trevino, they said she admitted to using the PFO debit card for personal purchases accidentally and would repay an additional $2,000. Zia Middle School's principal has since terminated Trevino from her PFO president position. Tempers flared between protesters disputing at an Albuquerque Public School Board meeting. The groups are for and against banning books from the school libraries. People were physically fighting on scene at 5:40. That's about 40 minutes after the meeting began last night. Two former students did speak with KOAT.
When I was in APS, I remember learning how to sleep with women before I even learned how to do long division, or learning how to love the other gender, or how same-gender marriages were supposed to work before I learned how to read and write efficiently. And I just think that that's not right, that the education system should be focused more on education rather than sexualization.
I was gay the entire time throughout APS, and I would have felt so much safer had I seen myself reflected in literature, if I could see flags in my schools. And now the progress that we've made, we see that with safe zones and trainings.
I wonder if she would be as open to an American or Christian or Gadsden flag. Is there a straight flag? If not, we need one. Someone get on that, please. A total of 44 people signed up to speak at the meeting, including those for and against the banning of LGBTQIA+ books. APS confirmed that no more people were being permitted to speak or being allowed inside the building. The New Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs went before the State Legislative Finance Committee to request a budget increase and outlining its successes over the past year.
I just really need this increase to stabilize our personnel. This is not new personnel. This is not extended personnel. This is to pay for existing people and to maintain our current levels of services. If I do not receive this increase rate, I'm going to have to get much more aggressive with slashing positions and hiring freezes.
The department says they welcomed more than 2 million visitors to their sites and museums while serving 685,000 children with educational programs. The department is now requesting a 10% budget increase for next year. Lawmakers have voiced their support, stressing how important the agency's work is to preserving the state culture.
New Mexico is truly unique, that we have a true blending of the cultures. And I think that we need to celebrate that. I do think that we have a unique opportunity and responsibility to keep that heritage alive and also show where they intersect and how they all have come together.
The Department of Cultural Affairs proposal also requested $16.5 million in non-recurring funds. That includes $10 million for rural libraries and $1 million for marketing. $5 million would be used to ensure compliance with federal laws requiring Native American remains and artifacts to be returned to their tribes. Sports and weather are coming up next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 3 games for New Mexico football and 1 game for New Mexico basketball tomorrow. Also 7 games for girls basketball on Saturday. I don't believe any of those are local, but I'll double check and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for sunny skies, mostly clear tonight, sunny tomorrow. Your high today in the basin, 66, low tonight of 39, high tomorrow, 67 degrees. In Cloudcroft, sunny skies today, mostly clear tonight, sunny tomorrow, winds gusting up to 10 miles per hour. Your high today for Cloudcroft, 54, low tonight of 31, wind chill is going to make it feel like it's 27, high tomorrow, 54 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.org, and you can learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. Well, that concludes this Thursday edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.